So I have to have like my palette and a tissue ready just to wipe off constantly. And I'll go in with water first. Just going here till here and not the entire part. So I have to kind of stop here, and this part remains almost white. Not completely white, but almost white. So you can see the amount of water that I have. Also, you'll be adding a little water every time you go in with paint. So don't worry, it'll still be wet that way. Stopping it here. Oh, I want to do a little bit thinner version of my purple pink. So I wiped off my brush and I'm spreading whatever I have in my brush around. And see here, it's not running. And now this is the only area that is wet. This is also wet, but it's kind of like damp, so it's not that visible. And now I can saturate it a little bit with more pink. So I'll be putting in pink here in dots. It will be a softer edge here and you'll get all these dark spots. If you see it drying everywhere, you can go over it gently. If it's getting too dark, you can just go in with clear water, like I washed my brush right now. I'm going in with clear water. If you move around a little bit of pigment, don't worry about it, it adds to the effect. And then again start like a little away, a little inside of this line. You can start spreading a little more paint. Every time you have to spread a certain area, you have to have like almost no water in your brush. And this one, if you want to clean it up, you can clean it up with very little water, like clean brush. Yeah. And then if you want to go in again with more pigment, you can still go in because it's wet. Just try to randomize these dots a little bit so they look more natural. And that's it for this space for now. Let's go into the next petal. It's the same process again. Apply water. I have drawn a line, a very light line here, so that I have an idea of where not to go. And you'll see in the reference picture, it's purple. It's not completely white, but it's not that purple as the petals, so you can still protect it. Notice the amount of water I have here. Now again the same process, very lightly. Like if you think it's too much paint, just wash your brush, dry it a little bit, and then spread out just this much. whatever you have on your paper, you can spread it out. And this is the line that we shouldn't cross, kind of. Like with very light pigment we can, but then when we add more saturated pigment we have to kind of sit here. So I'm taking more pigment. And again I can make these small dots, or even these scribbly marks. And they'll blend by themselves. And if you get to an area where it's too dry, don't worry, just clean your brush with clear water, wipe your brush, and then from the opposite side blend it a little bit, and it's good. Okay. So for the center also you can break it down into multiple parts. There is a circle here which like kind of goes more deeper, and then you have these areas that are coming out. It's a part of the petal, and you have this shape like this here that will be darker. So I'll be doing this in steps, and I think it has a little bit of yellow here, the circle. As the tube goes down, you might have seen that in the bottom of the flower on the outside. So we'll do that, and I'll test it a little bit on the side first, and then I'll do it. It's this yellow that you'll be working with, this one. I think it's mixed with a little bit of like pinky purpley kind of a thing. So on this side it's this, like on one side it's this, and it has a little bit of like yellowness to it as it goes deeper. It's pink as well, but I can see some yellow in it, so I'm just trying to do that. Just observe how like it's still pink and purple, but it has a little bit of yellow in it. That's what I'm talking about. I'll put this in this center area and we'll see how it goes. So now I'll be putting water on this section. It's like a V. I think I put a little extra, so I'll wipe that off. This is the line, and now I'll soften it. And we have this going down and outwards. It will be coming out like this, some purple, and then this way. So I'll make this all soft. I'm using clear water. I'm adding on the edges and I'm just blending it with whatever pigment I have here. So it'll be almost white, but it'll have a gradual transition. So it's coming out here. Anytime you have to soften an edge, like you see here, you can just go in with clear water and push it in with your hand or brush, whatever works for you. Somewhat like this. Goes in here, comes out here, fades a little bit into here. I have to soften this area. It's purple, it's not completely white, so I can spread it with clear water a little bit here, and that way it'll have some purple to look more natural, and this will go in. And there's a circular, like a tubular thing going on here. I'll use a little bit of yellow like we saw earlier for this. Just a little bit here. Then I also see this this white separation. Sorry. Then I can paint around it a little bit to make this a bit darker. So here, to give it some depth. This yellow will also give it the glow that's coming from inside. And you can again soften it with clear water. Now I'll go with this petal and I'll let this dry. In the meanwhile, if I need to do something like, for example, I see a line going like this from this hollow part, and it's kind of, I'll blend it here just with clear water. I'm trying to blend everything. I'll protect my white again by pushing in the paint with clear water. It's there, but it shouldn't like spread too much. And I'll also reinforce this once I'm done, just to balance the values. So I have this circle, and I'm going in with more. I think I put too much water on it. Also, I think I need a bigger brush, but I forgot where I kept it. So I'm wetting this particular area here. Now, as this side is darker, I'll start with this side first. See how I'm leaving this a little bit of space here, as you can see in the picture also. You have to protect this a little bit just to show the curve that is coming out, or like it's coming out from the darker area center. So just that, it's done here. Now with clear water, I'll soften this and spread the pigment around a little bit. Then I'll go in with more pigment and a little bit away from this line, as it's well protected. I'll start dropping in more pigment. I think it's too much. I'll wipe it off from my brush and then I'll spread whatever is left. Very gently, just with the tip of my brush, I can spread it around. Maybe a little more pink. If you think now, like for example, this is done for now, you think it's you need to add a little more depth here, you can again go in with some water, just wet the entire section again. And then you can you can see the amount of water here. I think it's a little too much on this side, but it's okay. You can remove it, lift it, or wait for it to dry. I'm just going in like this. So I'll make this even more saturated. I think this much is enough. Soften this spot. Okay. We'll go slowly and gradually we'll figure out like how dark this center should be, how light this should be. After we are done with the petals, we'll know if this is dark enough and we'll add more depth to it. Otherwise, for this petal, I'm wetting it again. Then with a little bit of paint, I go in onto this corner, as this is the darkest corner, and I'll stop here because this part needs to be protected. Now I'll clean my brush and just move this pigment around, and it shouldn't go past this area. I'm just moving it around a little bit, and it'll also have something coming in from here. So if you want to do it in the same layer, you can, but you have to be very careful about the amount of water. Kind of something like this. And wherever there's dark, you can again use these dots, like charge more pigment into it. So this line and then more lines here will be an indicator of that it's going inwards. And don't worry about like if it's not dark enough, we can go in the second layer. Don't worry about it, just keep going. Again, be careful about what you want to protect. Now with clear water, spread it out again. You can even put a little bit of paint on this area, not too much. I'm lifting a little bit from here if something went in. You don't have to be very proper, but a little bit of cleaning you can do. Now you can go in with more pigment on this part, just to suggest a little bit of that it has that it's turning towards you. So to suggest that, you can go in, and I'm cleaning the edge a little bit. I think this already depicts depth, but I'll need to go a little bit darker here. So I'll wait for it to dry completely, and then I'll do it in my second layer. Like you see, we did 2 layers in this one, but it looks like it's 1 layer. If we blend everything together, it's just like we have done it in 1 layer, and you can do it like over and over again. If you re-wet it when it's dry and then do the wet on wet, it will still look like you've done 3 layers, but it will look more natural and it will look like you've done it in 1 layer. So I think there are certain areas that I can rework and make certain areas darker, like for example this middle portion and also this crease here. So we'll go around again with clean water. I'm prepping. I don't have to work too much, so I'll be wetting more area than I do usually, so that I can keep working at both of these places. So for now I have just done these 2. Like you can see, these 2 are the only ones wet, but I have to take care of this edge. It's a different edge, and the already existing edge is also showing up, so I kind of have to match that. I see a little bit of darks here. Notice that I'm still not going near this line, so it remains a very gradual shift from dark to light, and there is a highlight over here, so I'm not touching that. Or you can move it around also. I think it should be a little bit like this. So this is dried off, but it's still a little wet, so I'll put more water, and if it has soaked into it, it's always good. that it'll stay wet for a little longer. And I want to focus on this crease here. I want to make it a little more defined, but for that there is a little too much water, so I'll work on the edges for now and let it dry a little bit before I start. So here I can see a little bit of this more purpley texture. And there is a line that comes through this, and this crease extends itself. So there's this and there's this middle one. It doesn't have to be exactly the same always, but like close. Even if it's just like you're going with your feeling, there's nothing wrong with that. Here I'm not even looking to be very precise with this. I'll have to pick this middle part up a little bit so that the line also stays and I get this in between kind of a thing here. And there's another one. For that I need a lighter color, so it goes from here. Anyways, it's going to be lighter as it dries, but try to keep fixing it. We can. Just a little bit, not too much. Now I think this center portion is also a little darker, so I'll do that. Don't worry about the patchiness. We are anyway going to add more water and fix it. I think there's a little more water than what I like. It's okay. I'll just touch it up with wherever I need a little bit of this darker color. Not too much, but only the places you need to emphasize. They don't necessarily need to be in your photograph, but if you want to emphasize a little bit in a certain area, you can do that. I also like to touch this very slightly so that it doesn't become a very like hard edge. So I go around it just a little, and then I clean it up so that there is a softer transition, but it's still clean. Now I think this one is good. This one needs a little bit of darkening on this edge, so I'll do that and create a separation here. I'm doing the inverse. I need to put water with this brush and maybe do the retail with this one, but I'm doing opposite because I like this one more. So I was using this. This is the last one, and then I think we're done with the flower, and we'll go over to the leaf. It doesn't need much work, just I think on the side here, teeny tiny bit. And remember, you don't have to stick to the picture. Once you get it, you kind of have to decide like where you want your emphasis to be, how you want to manage the things. Nobody's looking at the picture and matching it with real life, so you have that freedom here. You can always manipulate it according to your feeling. There is so much variation in nature all the time that nobody can say like this is unnatural or it doesn't exist. It always does. So you have a lot of room to improvise and choose to add more detail to anywhere that you might think. And now I've put like wet on dry, and then with a damp brush I'm going to soften the edge a little bit. Sure. And then maybe, yeah, I can see some lines here. So very lightly I'm adding a few of those. And now I'll go over this with clear water so that it's there but it's blended. Normally you should not do it this way, it should be done wet on wet. But if you want to like do it very quickly, because in wet on wet it sometimes dissolves and you have to redo it, you can do it this way as well, but you can see it has a completely different look. I did it just to show you. And now I'm going to go over it once more, wet on wet, so that it matches the other areas where we have done this. I think it's done now. Maybe a little bit of color here. Oh, too much. So I soften it. Careful with the edge here. And this one as well. think it looks good now. So that's it. If you stop wherever you're happy or you feel confused, and then you can always come back to it if you feel like there's something missing or you notice something that you want to fix. Don't stress yourself too much in one go. That's it for the flower. For the bud, I can see just one in the picture, like the picture that we were doing it from. So I'm doing the exact same. There are some petals that I can see folding over like so. This one doesn't make any sense. And then there's this green that I can barely see. It's purple, so I don't have to worry too much about leaving the pencil marks as it's going to disappear anyway. So I go again with water. Here I have to be a little more careful with this part, the yellow part. Otherwise, it's simple. So there is a transition here, but also here. So we'll separate the two. We'll do this one first and this one when it dries. These are both very pretty transitions, as this one transitions from yellow green to the purplish pink, and this one has a purple kind of a line and then with purplish pinkish yellow to give green. I think I would like to preserve both of them. For me, you can do as you like. Try not to go too much near the edges if possible. It also gives it a very rounded kind of structure. I'm trying to be very careful about this, like where I want to merge this, because like I'm barely touching it so that it remains as clean as possible and running into this dark color just a little bit, not too much. Uh-oh. I try to create these petals wet on wet, also the lines that are running through here. Don't stress it too much. As we saw, you can always come back and like lift it or just do another layer. Whatever feels right in the moment and whatever you need, you can do that. I think it also has a little hint of green here. I don't know if I've ruined it, but let's keep going. I need a smaller brush and some more pigment. I don't know what is the color exactly for you, but I'm doing whatever I can see. So you can manage the color that you are seeing according to what you know. And then there is one more fold which I'm not able to see very clearly, so I'm just going to leave it like this. I'll let it dry a little bit and then I go over it with a darker color and maybe blend it just slightly. And because this is done, we can start with the not finished, but we are waiting for it to dry. So we can maybe go over to this part. I think it needs a little yellow. It's too much. It'll dry lighter anyway, so it's okay. You can pull it down to make it lighter, as it will be green and everything will be covered up, so we don't have to worry about this too much. Now I'm going in with green. You can go in and make it darker wherever you see the darks. I don't know if this shape is proper or not, but just to give you an idea of like how it should be done. It needs to be this dark, but for now it'll dry lighter. Also, I think I've used the wrong green. It will be a much cooler green. For example, this should be the green for what I get from the photograph. So I'll just mess it up a little bit and then we'll see if I can maybe lift it. Not exactly, but mix of a warm and a cool green kind of a situation here. You can refine it as much as you like. So you see there is it's drying it in a way that it seems like it's overlapping. And now we can go on and make it even darker color wise, if it looked that way. I mean, I don't know, so I'm just doing stuff. I think I should wet it first. Too much water. Okay. So you see, if you don't touch the edge, I don't know if it's visible. So if you don't touch the edge and you have a lighter section here, it looks like you have this rounded kind of a shape. I think the color is okay for now. Maybe I need to lift a tiny bit from here to create that volume and give it a nice rounded shape. So that's it with the bud and the flower. Maybe if it dries and you cannot see these anymore, you can redo the thing that we did earlier, and it's going to be just fine. So the leaves that are turning away or maybe twisted in a way, you can do them the back of the leaf like this. So what I've done is I have painted the entire section. Then I lifted the veins and then I let it dry with the lifted veins, and then I go again like with small sections to emphasize it again. I'll show you very quickly what I mean. Just roughly, I'm not doing the entire leaf, I'm just showing you a little bit of like how to go about it. For example, if you have done this leaf, if you have this leaf which is turning and you have the back of the leaf towards you, like this is the back of the leaf, what you can do, you can put like paint here like so. Okay, like so, and then you can go again with more pigment in your brush, and you can do sections whatever you see like this. And then if you need to lift something, you can lift that. First add it and do the vein. Re-emphasize whatever needs to be re-emphasized and blend everything. Then you can start lifting if you need to. After this, you can you have to kind of like wait for it to dry slightly, and even use thicker pigment so that it stays, so it's not runny anymore. Here it's too wet, so I'll have to wait. But for example, here you can put your pigment like this and make small sections that you emphasize. Keep it simple, don't try to do too many details as of now. Just focus on making these sections. and eventually like I have to give it time to dry to make clear veins like this. You can lift some if you want, like we've lost it here, so lift it back, and when it has dried you can re-emphasize by putting darker colors on the side here. So you can see this is just the same, but I did these small sections as well as it dried in like 4 or 5 layers maybe, and the slight what do I say, lifting in this one as well. It's the same technique when you see the back of the leaf. And in front I think it will look like something, it looks something like this, but not with the same color. It's a little cooler. I think it's this kind of color, but I'm not sure. Like it's kind of like this, for example. So for the leaf, it's not coming up in camera, and I don't think it's this in real as well. I need to go much cooler. I need to add more and more blue to it. But then just to give you the concept, it's a simple leaf. So you just have to make these small separations, and it has to like curve and go inwards if you want to do it exactly like the photograph. So it's kind of like this, and then you can merge it like so. It's very important to have this structure. It's not like this one, it is like it goes out and round and in, and then it merges with the next thing. It's kind of like this.